Hey, Dr. Big Ed here. What am I going to talk about this time? Well, we're going to do a couple episodes today. First episode is about how to sell on Reverb, because we're all pedal junkies, which is why we're here at the office of Dr. Big Ed Guitar Pedal Shrink, right? And I think I've got over 800 rating on Reverb. I know, it's a sickness. But I buy as much as I sell. I've also got preferred status. How do you get preferred status? You respond to messages quickly. I respond right away because I've got the app on my phone. You ship quickly, and you get good ratings. If you get that, you get the 3 things at Reverb for being a preferred seller. Does that help? I think it does. I think if it's a choice between me and somebody else who's not a preferred seller and the price is pretty close, they know they're going to get it quick from me. They know I'm not lying about the condition of the pedal. They know that, it's well cared for because I really take care of my pedals, and that's reflected in my feedback. And I'm going to work with them. And I treat it like a job, right? You can't sell things unless you want to be in the selling business. So how do we do this? Well, first and foremost, you got to respond to those messages, right? Get it on your phone, get the app, and respond, or else you're not going to get that third banner. I see a lot of people who ship fast and have gotten good feedback, but they're lacking. That's usually the one I see people lacking. So that's number 1, respond quickly to messages. Number 2, this is maybe even more important than number 1, because you want to sell things. And this is more in line with getting things out the door, is take good pictures. I always wait till a certain time of day when the light is coming in through the back of the house, and I place them on the wood finish steps that lead to the upstairs of my house. I don't do anything fancy. I just place them where there's a lot of good space around it, so you can reframe it later. You can clip to a square, because Reverb has that thing, whatever they call it, reframing to a square, so you can tighten that up. But I always make sure there's plenty of space around the pedal. It's well lit. It's not dusty. I take a computer duster and I blow it off. I also wipe them down just in case. I show all angles, all corners, where the input jacks went to show that there's not wear, or if there is wear, I disclose it. I show the back. You tell them whether it's had Velcro or not, how you've used it. Like all my pedals mainly get used at home. The ones I take on the road, I usually don't sell. And they don't get too beat up because I take care of my stuff, but they're going to get beat up a little bit. So describe it as accurately as possible. If there are nicks or dings or anything, check them over carefully, make sure. So well lit, all angles, describe it. And you don't have to get too colorful describing it, but you can say, hey, I've had this for a year. It's just time to move on to something else. I'm interested in some other gear. I didn't beat it up. I used it only at home in my home studio. It stayed in one place for the last year. Did not go on the road. You can see there's no dings in the picture. It comes with the box. It comes with the manual, whatever. Okay? Big deal for a lot of people having the original box in case they want to resell it, I assume. And the manual, even though manuals can be found online, it just shows an extra level of care. So take care of your pedals. And you don't have to get too flowery with the descriptions. Some people like, especially if you're selling a guitar, you really want to go into more detail and really talk about the setup and what strings you've had on there and what the radius of the neck and all that stuff. Sure. But be as descriptive as reasonably possible and be accurate, because people can return stuff if you're not accurate. So it's better to disclose something and sell it for $10 less than you wanted to, or $20 less than you wanted to, than to get it back. Right? So, right. And then my other tip would be, well, if there aren't any more tips, but this tip is, again, treat it like a business. You're selling something. It's a job. It is. You make a lot of money off this. I got W-9'd last year, for God's sake. But treat it like a job. Treat it like a business. And treating it like a business means you have to know your competition. So when I list something, I check to see not only if there's another one of those pedals on Reverb selling and what the price is, but how many of them are selling, what's the lowest price, what's the condition versus lowest price. I also go to eBay. I sometimes will even check Craigslist just to do a cursory, like, okay, is this in line here? And that helps you to decide what to sell it for, because you might be gonna get less than you thought. You might get more than you thought. That's all important stuff. And then the next step is to stay on it and check constantly. And I mean a couple of few times a day, if you can. I can, because I'm sitting here working in the studio. But check a couple of few times a day to see what things, if someone else has listed one cheaper, or a lot of times you get into this pissing match with people where someone sees that you're either the same price as theirs or $5 cheaper, and they're going to put theirs cheaper than yours. You got to be aware of that, because it's not going to sell. So you got to stay on it. I know pissing matches are not fun, but if you want to sell it, because things do move quickly on Reverb, right? Especially for stuff that's in demand, you have to be on it. So that would be my last big tip, is it's a business. Stay on it. And if you do all these things, you take the pictures, you describe it properly, you check out the competition, you make sure what it's selling for on the web, in general, and what demand is. If it's a rare pedal, you can get away with a little bit more. But if there's a lot of them out there, you're going to have to get some reality. So if you do all of these things and you're responsive to your customers, because that's what they are, they're your customers, you will sell faster and better and get better ratings, and you will get good feedback. All right? All right. If I missed anything, let me know. Happy to answer. I was just doing this off the top of my head because a few friends of mine had asked me about it. So, till next time,